he sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Bar Bissell FTF Cup Series.
Able to the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the 8th, but they are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordy Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they are going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Oh, the canvas sends him. Get your front gear.
He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No.
Canvas is going to win.
Hello and welcome to the ModernRacingPrince.com FTF1 Series at Legacy, Texas. I'm Josh Mendoza, joined by Derek Watson and Zach Johnson behind the controls. We are back at an oval series after what feels like an eternity here after we were at Spa just a week ago. Derek, there is so much to look forward to in this race. 600 kilometers. It's going to be a long one, and you're going to have to sit down and buckle up if you want to make it to the end.
It's going to be a long one, Josh, but it's going to be a fast one. We were talking in the pre-race about the lap times here. If you're used to watching NASCAR at Texas, buckle up because we're going to be flying around this track.
It's going to be quick. 22-second lap times is what we're looking at right now. Our qualifying times, we're in about the 22 halves as we'll look at the grid here very shortly. It is a smaller field than we've seen in the past, 22 drivers. We've noticed previously in these oval series events that the beginning of these races tend to be filled with cautions, and hopefully that this changes with this event. But if Spa is anything to look at, I think we're going to have a couple of cautions to begin this and then a long green flag run to end out this race.
Yeah, that's very possible. I'm hoping to see a couple long runs here in this race and see what these drivers are capable of and how these cars handle. So it looks like the drivers are gridded up. I believe we're about ready to look at the grid here on the screen, Josh.
Yeah, and we are going to pick up the story right where we left it off. Brandon Hawken and Hamilton Akabuzi are your front rows. 1 point separates them right now in the driver's standings. That is going to be a storyline we're going to follow for the rest of the day. Connor Harrington, Nicholas Pressey, Ryan Naraki, Austin Knight, Justin Malillo, and Brian Sabelski. John Poole III and Ryan Pandicio.
We'll pick up here with Ryan Saucier and Paul Mitrikik in the 8 car. And then Torrey Pushman and Spencer Ray in the 15. Ben Goyette and Seth Eggert. Nate S. Stewart in that 14 car. And David T. Cabrera. And then we'll round out the top 20 here with Jake Poulin and Bill Cooley II.
And running out the rear of the field, Cody Ware as well as Rafael Ruiz is going to be rounding out our 22-car field here at Texas Motor Speedway. We're about to get green flag racing here, 246 laps. It is going to be a warm day out there. 118 degrees Fahrenheit is our track temperature, 78 on the outside. Humidity, that's just your standard 55, and no wind. Partly cloudy skies. As the pace car pulls off and goes down to pit road, we're going to lead the Modern Racing Prince F1 Series. Green flag is in the air. Lap 1 complete here, and it looks like Connor Harrington is out in the lead, was able to make his way past Brandon Hawken and Hamilton Akabuzi. No issues, but he's going to slide right underneath, and we see, I believe that's Ryan Naraki is going to pick it up right into 3rd place, and he is continuing. Oh, we got a big
wreck. Our first yellow.
Yeah, looks like Rafael Ruiz involved, Jake Poulin, Cody Ware. An unfortunate season for a couple of those drivers. Race control is asking if Bill Cooley is slowed down at all for that yellow. That's unfortunate, and it's they're currently waiting for the pace car.
That's just kind of what you predicted. We're going to see these guys have to get comfortable in the car, comfortable with the pace. Let's take a look at the wreck here and see what's going to happen. This is the car in the back of the field here. Here's our wreck. Look at this. It's too wide through here.
Three
they're
wide.
trying to make it 3 wide. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, no. That's and there's one at the end.
Wasn't too late to join the wreck. Unfortunately, he joined it, and we'll see right here several cars involved. This is kind of what happened. 3 wide action. That's very tight off corner exit. Didn't work right there. Could have made it if it was just a little bit higher, but unfortunately, we see Bill Cooley here slides all 4 tires and no fast repairs. So that's unfortunately going to be the end of several drivers' race. There's 4 cars right now that have meatball flags as it stands. Actually, there was 5. Rafael Ruiz also withdrew from the session. So 4 cars. Go ahead.
And, Josh, what happens in that moment is you get 3 wide, and inevitably someone may not know it, especially with the closing rate of that 3 wide. And the driver in the bottom, he was basically facing the problem of hitting the apron, and maybe he did hit the apron. I couldn't tell from an angle. And that's just going to shoot that car up this track. So in a car like this, an open wheel vehicle, this Dallara IR1, reaction time is just so crucial, and those moments can happen like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Though these cars are so quick, and those open wheels are definitely something you got to be careful of. They're not like a stock car that we're used to seeing here at Texas. They're similar to another open wheel series here that races all the time. And we've seen incidents in real life with open wheel cars around here that are very, very scary. So it's just something that can sneak up on you really quickly. And once you kind of get out of shape, you're pretty much, you're along for the ride. There's not really saving it.
Well, and remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was an open wheel race that was canceled here because of the speeds and how the drivers were, not feeling well. So to give you an idea of the speed and how quick this track is, there was too many G-forces on the drivers, and they canceled a race here one year, an open wheel race due to that.
It definitely seems like if this were real life, I think these drivers would need G-forces given the speeds that they're going around this track very quick into the corner. We'll tell you those speeds once we go back green flag racing. Gonna get single filed here. Connor Harrington is going to lead us back to green. He has control over this. You see him start to build that gap to the pace car ahead right there. He is going to kind of determine when they go here. He has a lot of control. This is much similar to an F1 Series start than a NASCAR start would be.
Yeah, and these single file restarts, these are very hard for the drivers behind because you can only pass on the outside till we get to the start-finish line. So it's already, you just kind of have to follow the leader, and you're hoping that no one misses a gear here. If someone misses a gear in front of one of these restarts, Josh, as you know, it's pure chaos what happens behind them.
As we'll go green flag racing right here. Connor Harrington got a great start there. Plenty of room and no issues throughout the field so far as they're going to go single file into turn 1 and 2. And they're already up to 225 miles per hour entering the corner.
And something to note about these cars too, Josh. Look at how everyone's a little bit offline of each other. No one wants to be directly behind in these corners. There's a little bit of dirty air that's going to come off of this car and hit the car behind you. And it makes it incredibly hard to turn this car if you're in that dirty air. It just, if you've never done it in iRacing, go find an open wheel car for the broadcast and try it out. It just feels like the car won't move no matter what you do. You want to be just a little bit off center to get through a corner successfully.
And as we saw, Brandon Hawken, he went off center, was able to make a pass for the lead. Brandon Hawken right back out in front. But Connor Harrington on the outside is going to battle from there. Is he going to be able to make it happen? No, he's not. And unfortunately, he is now under the battle of Ryan Naraki. Naraki wants to put his name into the hat. We'll see if he's able to make it work, as Connor Harrington is currently stuck on the outside and is continuing to fall back, now third.
And the crazy thing about that Connor Harrington move, Josh, you and I talked about before the broadcast, this is Legacy, Texas. There's an awful transitional bump out of turn 2 on that high side. I was not sure he was going to make it through that okay without, wrecking himself or someone due to that transition out of that corner.
Yeah, he's definitely lucky that he was able to get through that corner without an issue. It's going to be sketchy if you're going to be high off of turn 2 exit, but he's going to make his way onto the outside, still throwing his name into the hat. Ryan Naraki's going to go to the extreme high side. He's going to try and keep that downforce on the machine. Not going to get too tight. Still is able to maintain directly behind Connor Harrington. Still not out in front. He's going to shift up, get a little bit of loose through 3 and 4, just closes the door in front of Naraki.
Right now, maintaining that same top 3 we've seen for a few laps here, but it's not for lack of effort by Connor Harrington. He's searching right now. He wants to know what works, what doesn't work, you know, where he can make it. Look, there it is. That's that move outside. That's a great move as long as you can hold on to it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic move, and there's a little bit of a draft here on the front stretch, so you'll see him in tow behind that car in front as he's going to make his way to the outside. Just is there, but oh man, he can't make it stick. He's going to lose it again. Brandon Hawken absolutely under control, and oh no, look at that. Harrington is able to go to the bottom side and is going to easily be able to pass around Hawken. Just got underneath him and was able to make a clean pass through 3 and 4.
Yeah, in this case, with how fast these cars are, almost contact right there. So how fast these cars are, Josh. Remember back to elementary school when they teach you the quickest way around somewhere is the inside. It's the shortest lane, whether it's a racetrack or whatever you're thinking about. That's the quickest way to get around, and he just proved that right there. Once you get inside someone and pass them, it's just so much quicker than a car on the outside.
Absolutely, there's so much downforce. It's almost more like a super speedway than it is a standard 1.5 mile track that we're so used to seeing with these cup cars and Xfinity cars, stock cars around a track like this. They don't have that same level of downforce as these Dallara IR01s do. So they are going to be going full song throughout the entire run here. They may have to worry about tire wear over time. This is a little bit more of an abrasive surface, but we'll see as we'll follow along and see if there's going to be anyone lifting at any point during this run.
You talked about this feeling like a super speedway, Josh. Look at your top 9 on the leaderboard. A second, almost 1.2 seconds to be exact, is what separates all these cars. That's why it feels like a super speedway.
Absolutely. 17 cars currently running on the lead lap right now. If you're on the lead lap, you are participating in this race. We have one car who is starting to fall back out of the clutch. Oh, we got one spinning right now off of the exit. It looks like Nate Stewart is the one involved. He's just going to park that machine. An unfortunate season is continuing to go bad for Nate Stewart. Not what he wanted to see here at Texas. Wanted a good run. Unfortunately for him, he's going to lose it through the tri-oval and is going to take it to the garage in order to get some repairs. Yeah,
Nate's an avid iRacer who has, at times suffered some bad luck in races like this, but very talented racer when he puts his mind to it. So hard to see him already have a rough run like that tonight.
Yeah, his teammate Spencer Ray is currently battling with Paul Mikolajczyk. They're going to try and go side-by-side here for a little bit. They're going to go single file, actually, as we see a side-by-side battle again for the lead. Looks like Naraki is going to try and make that high side work. He gets a pretty good run off of turn number 2. Is going to continuing to carry speed into 3 and 4, and Nate Stewart has withdrawn from the race, so he's going to no longer be participating as Naraki falls back in line. Oh, into the wall! Oh, Naraki into the wall. Oh, that is unfortunate for him. And at the same time, it looks like Justin Malillo had some sort of issue off of corner exit. And Naraki has a meatball flag. He'll need to come down pit road to get that serviced.
He's going to try to make that transition down the pit road here with whatever damage he has. Nope, he's going to hold on to it here. I think he just decided in that moment that it wasn't safe to get down pit road, and he would have caused more harm than good, I think.
Oh, Ryan Naraki goes around. He takes out 2, 3 cars involved. Oh my goodness gracious. Paul Mikolajczyk involved. Well, let's see who else. Oh, and another one joins late into the incident. Oh my goodness gracious. That is Tori Pushman, Ryan Naraki, and Austin Knight. Oh my goodness gracious. 4 cars involved in another big wreck here at Texas.
And that's the danger of avoiding the meatball.
Yeah, some sort of failure on that vehicle, or I'm actually a little bit concerned. I think he might have caught the apron. Oh, you see right there, he caught the tri-oval and then caught the apron right there, and he's just trying to run on the apron until that car loses grip. And unfortunately, Paul Mikolajczyk had nowhere to go, and Austin Knight also involved.
Trying to do the right thing. Oh my goodness. Trying to do the right thing at heart by getting on the apron and being out of the racing groove. But with a car like this, with how just low to the ground it is, that's such a dangerous move. You'll see him start to wiggle here, and then it's just going to get worse. Here's an onboard.
They're already wrecking up ahead. Tries to go down, sees that car slowing down, and I think wants to go high to avoid it, but just doesn't realize that 2 cars are up there already parked.
And the hard part about that, from our camera angle here, it looks so obvious. And of course, we know what the wreck's going to be. But when you're in that driver's seat, Josh, and all you can see is smoke ahead of you, sometimes it's really just a gamble at like, is that car going to slide down? Is it going to hold still? You know, where can I see through the smoke? It's actually a lot harder sometimes to avoid these wrecks than what it looks like, you know, in our beautiful replay angles.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. It can definitely be very difficult, and that's something we got to look out for. Interesting note, you see the track, it looks a little bit darker, cloud overhead right now, and the track temperature has already begun to drop. It's 115. We were at 118 when we started this race, so that's going to continue to fall, probably bring a little bit of additional grip to the track. We're going to go ahead and step aside for a little bit. We'll be back with the Modern Racing Prince F1 Series at Texas just after these messages. Welcome back to the ModernRacingPrince.com FTF1 Series here at Texas. Looks like we're 24 laps into a 246 lap race, 2 cautions so far, and we already got several drivers out. 12 cars are currently running right now, and I believe if you're on the lead lap, you are running. So it looks like this is going to be coming back to green flag, and it's already a tale of attrition, Derek.
It really is. It's almost like the story of the race could be everything's bigger in Texas, including the wrecks right now, because that's what we're seeing on the track is big wrecks and lots of involvement in this calamity so far.
Yeah, most movies have a formula. Looks like FTF1 Series has a formula. A couple of big cautions to begin to thin out the field, and then a long green flag run has been the story of the past. So I think we're going to see a green flag right now. Is this the beginning of the long green flag run? We'll find out.
Nice restart by all the competitors there. Everyone stayed in line. No big accordion effects. Now, the question I have here, look, if you look on the screen here, you'll see that the leaders have a decent gap, actually, back. So I'm curious if they're going to, if this group we're seeing on screen is going to run down the leaders pretty quickly, or if they're just going to battle it out for themselves.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to watch right now. 1.3 seconds currently separates the leader of the second pack from the leader of the race. Overall, right now, that's about 1.15 seconds between Ray and Hawken. So we'll see if that's going to change at all over the course of the laps. We see that Ray is already starting to catch up to the leader. Mark that down 0.2 of a second this time by 0.2 faster as Spencer Ray this lap.
Yeah, as long as these guys can stay in line as much as possible and not battle each other, they'll quickly be up to the lead. They'll catch Hawken and Harrington pretty quickly. If they want to get racy, though, and decide that they want to race for 3rd or 4th or 5th, then that's when Harrington and Hawken could easily pull away and find a bigger gap in this race.
Yeah, Ray's already in the draft of Hawkins, so that's not going to be a problem. I think Ray's going to continue to be fast and close that gap in. Not going to be a problem. That lead that those two leaders were enjoying is quickly evaporating as Ray is able to use that draft and continue to catch up to the tailpipes of Brandon Hawkins. Turn number 3 and 4, Ray is there for sure.
And we're going to see the move to the inside, just the backwards way we saw it maybe 10 laps ago, Josh. It's got to the inside and took the lead from him.
Yeah, Brandon Hawkins was able to take the lead. It's going to continue to lead here. Going to burn a little bit more fuel out front, something to consider if this ends up being the long green flag run. You don't want to be the one leading because your fuel burn is going to be the biggest of the leaders out.
Yeah, that's true. You have to factor that in. It's a risk reward scenario though, because you have to factor in if we're not done wrecking, then the guy up front in theory is safest from the wreck that may happen.
We're gonna see Spencer Ray here on the outside, gonna try and carry some momentum off of corner exit, but it looks like Connor Harrington is just gonna have a better run off of corner exit. It's gonna be able to work his way to the inside of the 15 machine.
Of course, this Texas track here is a beautiful track. It's track at its peaks held up of 130,000 or near at capacity. It may not look like it, but I believe this track holds a bigger capacity than the Dallas Cowboys football stadium.
Oh, don't mention those Dallas Cowboys. I'm an Eagles fan.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I'm an Eagles fan when I live in California. That's I promise that's not bandwagoning reasons. It's
you and Jacob Hitz must have a good time together.
Yes, we do. We enjoy these broadcasts, especially when the Eagles are doing well. We enjoy broadcasting and talking all about them. But pretty sure Zach is going to kill us if we start commentating any other games or series while we're broadcasting again.
The lines definitely got together here. These guys are ready to fall in line and race, and they're just kind of hoping we find that line. And as you said, now the question is, do you let Hawkins lead? Do you want to lead? You know, if you're Harrington looks comfortable. He's not making those big moves and swings to the outside he was before. He almost looks comfortable riding here and burning less fuel on this run.
Yeah, Connor Harrington has only started twice so far this season. He already has a podium to his name, so he's definitely a quick driver, and he is currently 28th in points, but he's looking to probably try and capitalize on getting a good finish today. So I don't think you're going to see him make any major aggressive moves. He knows he has to make it to the end of the race in order to get those points. So I think you're going to see Harrington continue to just hang out here and let Hawkins lead. You can make the pass. The draft is in your hands. It's like that 500-mile race last weekend. Lots of big moves, but that draft is going to be able to make it easy to make a pass.
Yeah, the draft can't make it easy to make that pass, but look at this beautiful line here. No one's really moving. Everyone seems pretty comfortable here. They have found their groove. They found the line they want to race. My guess is some of them are lifting a little bit at this point, not to save gas, but just to kind of manage the wake of the car a little bit.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. You don't want to get too tight onto the car behind you and take that arrow off of the nose of the vehicle. You will get tight, you'll push up, and that could be one way, especially on corner exit, to get your car involved in the wreck.
So I don't think we're there quite yet. This would be something that maybe, there it is. There's that big saw. I thought he was going to make that big swing, and he backed it up. Not sure if he rethought it or he just lost a little bit in the corner, but I thought he was going to make that move to the outside for a second.
You know, he may be just trialing it to see if that's an option in the future. This is plenty of time to learn right now. Track temperature still 114 degrees, so it's a piece of information for this kind of track temperature, if that's a move that you can make for sure.
So I was going to say, this is something to talk about maybe later, maybe if this run does go on, but now you're going to find that way as a driver to get comfortable. So what does that mean for you? It depends. As sim racers, some of us like to get comfortable by listening to music. Some like to have conversations with their teammates in Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever you use. Some like pure silence. It's all about how you get comfortable in that race, and you need to find that rhythm. This is a long race. We got 205 laps or so left. You have to find a way to get comfortable here and calm down or it's going to be a long night for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of drivers trying to relax, we got Austin Knight in the booth. Unfortunately, an early exit from the race. Austin, I guess just what were you kind of hoping to have happen there? And is there anything you could have done differently?
I could have done about 3 things differently from that start. When I saw the car hit the apron, I knew he was going up, and for some reason I thought, oh yeah, I'm on a road course. I should go onto the outside. I should have just stayed low and just let speed and momentum and physics take place, and they go up the track. For the second part of that incident, nothing I could have done. Nothing I could have done. It was the driver's first race, and they just got nerves and turned me into a human shish kebab.
That's unfortunate. Absolutely. I gotta mention, I really dig the background you got going on right now. You got Coda there, got the Red Bull. That's awesome. That's really cool. I absolutely
thank you.
dig it.
That's actually from the Circuit of the Americas map. Is actually from MotorRacingPrince.com.
Ooh,
Sponsor of the series.
there you go. Look at that. I like that. A nice shout out. MotorRacingPrince.com. Check it out. They got some awesome prints for sure.
The fire suit is not from there.
There you go. That's true. So your third race of the season so far. I believe this is it your first DNF of the season?
It's my first DNF and my first not top 10 finish. Technically, last week at Spa was also a DNF, but did not start because immediately before the race, I got a serious migraine, and luckily Ben Goyette, who is still in the race. Thank you, Ben. Is still in the race and did very well. And now Matt, he was busy now, so I was like, I got no excuses now. I'm gonna have to go hop in here. But it's a good race. I'm actually sitting in the stands right now. I have a camera where I sit to watch the IndyCar races in real life, and I'm just sitting in the stands watching it.
That's really cool. All right, and you are racing for Modern Racing Prince GP. Is this a concern for your guys' constructor standings going into this? You guys currently lead the constructors championship.
I feel like our record of always having somebody in the top 10 might be at risk. Though when I hopped into this session here today, I knew what track. I know the history of high-speed cars with high downforce here today. The likelihood of something big happening. We're probably already biting off more than we could chew with leading the championship. We just kind of find it funny that we just always kind of finish in the top 10, top 5, and it just kind of happens. But it was bound to come with us. I drive with a set of cards on top of my helmet. The cards weren't in my favorite today.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate. Well, we appreciate you taking some time to chat with us. Unfortunately, not a top 10 for Austin Knight. Not going to be able to add the points that he was hoping to
I did get 2 points. I did get 2 points.
Oh, this is true.
Top 15.
Top 15.
I finished 14th.
Points. You're in the points. There you go. Well, good luck. We look forward to seeing you back again very soon here at the
Thank
FTF1
you.
Series.
I look forward to the next race. And I look forward to the end of this race. Looks like we got a good race going on right now. I'm excited to see what strategies these guys have.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Austin.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, while you were doing that interview, Josh, we saw a car well off the pace. I'm not sure if he just got loose because I don't see any other, anyone on pit road or not. I'm not sure what happened there, but all of a sudden they pulled way down to the left on the back straight, got way off pace, and there, I don't know.
I think I have an answer for you right now.
All right, go for it.
It's going to be an odd answer. I believe that's our race admin, Jake Poulin, out there doing a couple of laps, just participating in the fun.
I see Ben Goyette in the 2 car coming down pit road right now.
Oh, look at that. Ben Goyette, 2 cars, also going to come down. And he's going to get some service. So that was one of the drivers that he was mentioning, 1 lap down. We'll see. He doesn't have any sort of meatball, so maybe he's going to get some damage repaired, or maybe
he knows something we don't.
Yeah.
So we were talking about these drivers getting comfortable and finding their groove, and we've seen in Harrington minorly make that move a couple times, but Spencer Ray is perfectly comfortable in 3rd place. Ever since that line has caught the front 2 drivers, Josh, Spencer Ray is cool as a cucumber. I was trying to think of a yellow food to use that, like I don't know, as happy as a banana, or I don't know what I was going for, but he's perfectly content right there in P3.
Yeah, he is perfectly in line like a French fry. There you go. How does that sound? You happy with that?
That's pretty good.
All right, we'll take it. All right. Yeah, no, he is happy. He's hanging out. I really think the level of aggression is just gonna be calm. We got looks like 7 cars right now that are part of this lead pack. Then about 3 seconds behind you have another 4-car pack. And beyond that, that's pretty much your field, except for Goyette in the 2-car, who's 2 laps down, who had to service some sort of service under green flag conditions. And I think this might be the green flag run so far of the race.
Yeah, it does look that way. Where now we've all gotten comfortable. We've learned what the car can do. We've learned how the track works. So unless it would become something major, like a major track temperature change as the race goes on, I think these guys have figured it out, and they're all content where they are. Maybe they decided it's more important to be there at the end than to lead. Never mind.
Just kidding. Looks like Connor Harrington. He's gonna go out, take the lead right now. That's gonna move Brandon Hawken behind him. We'll see how Hawken responds. Does Hawken want to continue to maintain the lead, or is he gonna be more than happy to hang out behind and save a little bit of fuel?
Yeah, he might be, because, I mean, he led out there for what feels like 20 or so laps. He might be perfectly content to fall in line here and save his own fuel in the later parts of this run.
We see 1 lap car out ahead. That's Goyette. He's going to continue to kind of fall to the graphs of this lead pack. Going to go 3 laps down when they pass him. So he's just going to continue to hang out right now. And it looks like Harrington not going to have much of a contest from Hawken in order for that lead right now.
No, and Goyette's situation is interesting, because on one side he probably has fresher tires than these guys, but he also has more fuel. So the fresher tires will help him go faster. The fuel will weigh him down and make it slower, but he's going to do the right thing to sit on the outside here and let this field by.
Oh, they got real tight off a corner exit, though. That was almost something big, but Goyette's going to make light contact with the outside wall, not going to cause any issues for his machine. Just going to cause a little bit of nervousness as we see another car on the outside going to go a lap down. That's Jake Poulin, and he's going to ride the outside wall. That's probably going to cause some sort of issues for his machine.
Yeah, I can hear the contact as he went by, and you see him pulling down, so he probably has some damage as well. That's one thing that's different about these cars compared to stock cars or other cars we see in the service on iRacing, is that really any amount of damage to the side of the car, to the suspension, and you can be done pretty quickly. He's still running, so he might be okay. But these cars are pretty finicky when it comes to, how much damage they can take.
Yeah, he's going to be able to maintain forward progression on that car, which is something that wasn't necessarily guaranteed once you went to the outside wall. So he's going to keep it underneath him. No meatball flag for him.
There's some more cars on pit road, by the way. I see Brandon Hawken is now on pit road.
Oh, Brandon Hawken's going to come down to pit road. You're going to see these cars. They're going to have to enter, as Connor Harrington is also going to go down to pit road. We'll see him enter pit road right here. Doesn't want to speed. That's going to be super detrimental under a green flag pit cycle. So he's going to come down pit road, probably at 4 tires and full fuel. Spencer Ray just called out that he's going to pit. Everyone has to enter into turn number 3. They cannot pit off of turn number 4.
Yeah, that would be a scary transition in these cars, trying to pit off of 4, because you cannot get it wheeled up in time for where that cone is. You would end up wrecking every time in these cars if you tried that. Oh, now we see that yellow machine of Spencer Ray making what feels like the forever trip down pit road. The speed you go on pit road versus on track is just monumentally different, Josh. We see a couple more takers here. So this will complete, or come near completing, our first round of green flag cycles. This will put a couple cars a lap down and probably should get temporarily Ben Goyette at least 1 lap back, if not 2, around the cycle until he needs to pit again. See him coming down here. I think the last of our cars, see the leaderboard there. You'll see Akabuzi is currently your leader. That's temporary with Justin Malolo in second. Those will drivers who still need to pit. I think I heard Justin calling he's coming this time. There they are, Akabuzi and Justin Malolo.
We'll see these two cars come down pit road and get their cars serviced. So that's going to basically complete our first green flag pit cycle of the race. And there is no major issues. Didn't see anyone get any sort of black flags under pit road. So that's a solid source of just getting everyone sorted out. So Goyette's going to be 2 laps down, no longer 3. And that is, I think, exactly how he wanted that to go. As best he could have gone for now.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of how it could go, what you actually hope for in these moments of pits, of green flag cycles, is you kind of hope for what these leaders are seeing right now, which is you start to form a bit of a gap. The pack will break apart because maybe someone's not as comfortable on pit road as anyone else, or maybe they didn't practice pit entrance. And this is where these smaller packs will start to form because those drivers are vastly different on their pit lane deltas versus other drivers.
Now this is
Look
really
at this mess right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a mess indeed. Connor Harrington was having so many issues through 1 and 2. His car looked absolutely unstable, but he's able to get it sorted, and that is just going to shoot him out in front. As you see Hawken and Akabuzi and Spencer Ray now all racing each other for second place. Look at Connor Harrington, put him to the top of the board.
And you know what happens there as a driver is now you got, as I said earlier, you got all the fuel. Pardon me, you got new tires. You've almost forgotten what the car feels like in this condition. Josh, you've been racing it, you've been letting the tires degrade, and now there's rubber on the track, which is different than your first time around. So it can take you a couple laps to remember what this track feels like, you know, after you come off of pit road immediately.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a completely different car. It might as well be a completely different car because it drives nowhere near what it did just 2 laps prior on empty fuel and old tires. So that's something you're going to have to get used to. And you know, we're going to see a bit of an interesting, it's just going to be a cycle for the rest of this race as we're 70 laps into this 246 lap race. You're going to continue to see this cycle happen over and over and over again. And it's going to be who is able to break the cycle, but who is also going to be able to maintain and get the best time in and the best time off of pit road.
Well, and the real question, too, is who sets themselves up for the shortest cycle at the end? We saw some different pit strategies. We saw Justin Malolo and Akabuzi be the last to pit. So if they can keep that math up, where does that put them in the final cycle? Does that delete the stop? Does it make that stop a second or two, or, you know, faster for the final stop? That's where that math comes in. That's, you know, with these guys being road racers, some of them doing endurance races, either, you know, the iRacing special events or other ones that are happening, you know, on random weekends. You start to get that in your head of how can I make that final stop shorter? That can win you a race.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned earlier light fuel loads. I think that is the most important. Not only a shorter stop time in general, but a lighter fuel load with fresher tires. You're going to be going out there doing qualifying laps in comparison to some of those drivers who are on older tires that have slightly, you know, maybe lighter fuel loads, but those tires are worn more. So if you can go ahead and have a short stop with less fuel, just make sure that you know how the car is going to drive on a light fuel load with fresh tires.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor. And, you know, one of the unique things about this FTF1 series, Josh, with it changing from road to oval and different ovals, in fact, is there's a lot of learning to be done week by week here. Obviously, you know, a couple weeks ago you were at Spa. Now you're here. You know, other tracks on the rest of the schedule include Chicagoland. We go back to Indianapolis. We're going to go different places. And every track, even on the oval side, has a differences in the track that make you learn how to handle this car.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly there's a lot to go about this. And one of the things I do want to also add to here is one of the unfortunate losers through that pit cycle is going to be the 9 of Seth Egger. He was running tail end of that group before all this happened. And unfortunately now you see him, he is 14 seconds back, barely holding on to the Sabelski-Saucier group directly ahead of him. He is definitely not in a situation. Still going to be a good day for him nonetheless, but not as good of a day so far, unless he can get some sort of caution or make up a significant amount of time with that group in front of him. As you see, he's going to be able to catch up to that group ahead.
You know, I know that the cars are different, but I'm going to make an analogy here, or a point here, I guess, is where I say it correctly. If you ever watch like the final minutes or the final hours of an eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series race, those guys will practice slamming into pit road as fast as possible and getting down to speed, because there's so much time to be gained there on that pit road entrance. If there's one piece of advice I could give to any new person who wants to find time on track in longer races in iRacing, is practice your pit road entrance and get comfortable with it, and you can gain lots of time over your competitors just via that alone.
Oh, absolutely. That is 100% true. If you can get into pit road and you can be quick, then you're going to do very, very well. As we hear a little bit of an apology from Seth Eggert to Brian Sabelski. I'm not sure what happened there. I'll follow up on that here shortly. But it is absolutely all about getting in on the pit road. And these cars do have pit road speed limiters, but I guarantee you the fastest drivers out there, you won't be seeing using that pit road speed limiter, because there is a maybe 4% more, 3% more that you can get on pit road when you don't use the pit road speed limiter.
Yep. Speaking of pit roads, we got someone down off the pace here on the bottom of the track. They're going to come in right now. Trying to get a name there. Sorry, I'm trying to find it in my own cameras. There we go. That's Jake Pullman coming down. And that car looks like it was crowd walking. Is that just me?
Yeah, well, he did make that contact earlier. No meatball flag for the Poulin machine. He might have had a little bit of a crab walk, but nothing too dangerous. Following up on that Sabelski Seth Eggert deal, it was just it was a little bit of a close contact. Nothing worth looking back at. That just made them a little bit nervous. Two teammates, so they're clearly not going to be racing each other too hard. As we see, these leaders here are going to continue to be putting laps on the board, working lap 85 now. And this race is quickly going by. These 22-second lap times are going to make this race go by, I feel, very quickly.
Yeah, it is. Except, one person who doesn't think that right now is Connor Harrington. This race is not going by fast enough for Connor Harrington. He just wants this race to be over. You're leading. You're doing well. It's a clean race. In his mind, we can just park it now and call it a race. But yeah, you're right. I mean, his laps are fast. I mean, we've been, live for not that long, and we're already lap 86, about to be 87 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Current green flag or current time since the start is about 38 minutes, 39 minutes right now. Already working lap 86 here. So that is that gives you an idea of just how quickly we're going through this race. There is plenty of time to go out there and just, make moves. But yeah, like you said, Connor Harrington, he wants the checkered flag, right? It would be really great if he took the checkered flag right about now.
Yeah, he thinks so. The danger to the speed of this track, purely from a driver standpoint and a sim racing standpoint, Josh, is you can't break your focus here. A 22-second lap time, that's not that long. If you break your focus, if someone's talking to you and you turn your head, if you try and read a text message, although you should never do that, you're going to lose focus here pretty quickly and have a lot of trouble around this racetrack. We're going to see a beautiful onboard here. We're going to go through turns 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, that's with Hawken right now. You see him, he's in the 7th gear, just kind of in the middle. He doesn't want to overdrive or put it into the 6th gear, because you're going to burn more fuel. So he's going to maintain that 7th gear, kind of hang out in the middle. And he is just going to do everything he can to kind of stay in line, make the track as short as possible, but also get a little bit of a draft, save fuel. That's how you're going to get a long run. Get a little bit of a longer run than that guy that's out in front right now, Connor Harrington.
Yep, and to go back to my point a second ago, right about here, as Zach turns away, that was 2 laps of this track.
Yeah.
That's how quick that was. There's tracks that we all have in the service in different cars, whether it be a Talladega, a Daytona, a Spa, or, other tracks where you can kind of turn your head and you can kind of stop and think for a second and joke. And you do that here and you'll be in a wall before you know it.
Yeah, Ben Goya, as you saw come down pit road, he is going to get service once again. A little bit of a split strategy for himself. He is going to go down now, is 4 laps down, so not quite what he wanted not quite the race he wanted to have, but as long as he continues to stay out on track and just stay out there, he has an opportunity to make up several positions because you never know when another big one might happen.
And listen, obviously Ben Goyette wants to be in the lead lap, and he wants to be out there racing. But for most drivers in the service, if you tell me I can be 4 laps down in P12, I might be having an okay day still.
It's very similar to an endurance race. Just kind of staying in the race is the biggest goal. As long as your car isn't destroyed, you have a pretty darn good chance of making up at least 1 or 2 more positions over the course of the long run, even if you are 4 laps down, because the likelihood of it, someone's going to have bad luck. Someone's going to have an issue. We've seen drivers have hardware issues in real life that takes them out of a race. We've seen drivers have interactions with other drivers on track. We see mistakes. All that can happen. It's a long race. We still have 152 laps to go here. So that's certainly, no questionable, or no question whether or not Goya can get a top 10 finish here.
Oh, absolutely still possible. That's something we talk about in my race team all the time. Whether we're prepping for a race tomorrow or the 6 hours of Glen or even Spa next month, it's called endurance for a reason. You have to endure what's going to happen and just always look ahead. And if you race clean and they don't, you'll be fine. You can be, 30th place to start the race and be just fine. So yeah, stick out there, have a good time, and you'll be fine. Oh, a small blink there by Spencer Wright. Oh, he's back. Now here's the danger of what happens there from a driver's standpoint for Akabuzi and Malolo, who are behind him. When he blinks like that, he actually kills the track for those 2 drivers, Josh. And that's the biggest, besides the fear of where the blinker's going to reappear, at Texas, the bigger problem in my mind is he breaks the draft.
Yeah, I mean, you lose that draft, you lose that tug. That's certainly something to be wary about, especially if it happens at a very bad time where it's more of a drawn-out line instead of a tight line. You could easily get in a bad position when that happens. So, fortunately for them, he's going to blink right back in, not going to cause any issues, no, nothing major. Hamilton might have gotten a little bit nervous, but for all these drivers, I think they're all pretty close to the server that we're racing on, so no major issues there. Yeah, we don't have any major players from, I would say, other areas that they have to worry about. No one from another continent that is going to be a major concern.
We're seeing a different 3-car pack. This is the pack here. I believe this is going to be 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is Pressey, Poole, and Seth Eggert here racing like this for 7th, 8th, and 9th. What I find... Oh, hold on. One down. No, that's not a pit... It is a pit road insurance. That's just a high arc. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Nicholas Pressey is going to bring it down to pit road here. Going to get it down to 3rd gear. Gets the pit road speed limiter on. He is struggling for grip right now on pit road. He's going to have it.
Go, sorry.
Oh, carry on. They're coming down pit road. We got another one coming down.
I was about to say, I just heard Connor Harrington make the same call that he's coming down. So this is our next cycle of pit stops right here.
Yeah, these pit stops are happening pretty quickly right now as we see Connor Harrington. He is going to go down 3rd gear, down pit road. Nicholas Pressey exits his pit stop, 8.4 seconds, 29.5 seconds down the lane. He's going to get back up to speed. We'll see Connor Harrington from the 3rd pit stall. Don't see any other takers this time by.
That's interesting to me because if memory serves correctly, he pitted with some drivers last time. So to see them all, out here still racing kind of proves that whole point about fuel saving and fuel mileage. But yeah, because we should expect to see Akabuzi and Malolo come in last because that's what they did last time.
Yeah, definitely. I would imagine they're going to stay out the longest. Really, there isn't much tire fall off in these vehicles. Actually, over the course of the run, the longer you... Oh, boy. Lots of people coming down pit road this time. Justin Malillo dissatisfied with something that happened on pit road. Brandon Hawkins going to bring it down pit road. We see, looks like Seth Eggert, Brian Sabelski, Bryce Saucier, all coming down pit road. So we got a busy pit road right now. 4 cars coming down the lane.
So right now, the calls are pretty obvious on pit road. It's always going to be gas and tires, gas and tires, gas. It's the same call for the next, I don't know, 4 pit stops probably, maybe 3. that last couple pit stops is when you start to set up your race and what you want to, well, how much fuel do you really need, or do you want to risk not taking tires for some reason and getting out there sooner?
Yeah,
but for now, I think the calls are obvious.
Oh, easy calls. 4 tires feel. Stay out as long as you can, because the longer you stay out, you might make up a tenth or two. Not really going to matter in the long run as long as you cycle out. One thing I will note, Brandon Hawken did something a little bit different than I saw everyone else do on pit road. He exited his pit stall in 4th gear. Everyone else has been exiting it in 3rd gear. So Brandon Hawken might be trying to conserve those tires for a long run by not spinning them as he goes out. Spencer Ray is down pit road. He's going to exit his pit stall, it looks like, in 1st gear. So just looks like a little bit different pit road philosophies. John Poole also on pit road.
Yeah, you'll see that from time to time. People have different theories or philosophies about what's best for them, and it really is about driver comfort. If you're going to, got close together there. If you're going to come off in 1st gear and let that car just go, you're going to fight the tires and hold onto the car while it starts to skid. You at 4th gear, and it's going to be stable, but maybe a little slower. So it's all about what you're comfortable with and what you think is best for your driving style.
Hamilton Akabuzi, Justin Melillo are still out. They choose not to pit again. So it looks like these 2 drivers might have a bit of a different strategy. I guess if you can count stay out as long as absolutely positive as possible, that's the strategy these 2 drivers are going to stick with.
And what I find interesting here to note in the last couple laps since the pit started is these 2 swap spots, Joshua. For the longest time, Justin was behind Akabuzi.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's because Justin did a little bit more fuel saving, so he can do that. And it looks like Justin Melillo is also going to come down pit road this time. I imagine that's going to drag Hamilton Akabuzi, and it does sound like that's going to happen. So these 2 drivers are going to come down pit road. Actually, Hamilton maybe staying out here. No, he doesn't. He chooses to come down as well.
And look, that's the difference in comfort in pit road entrance. Look at that. Akabuzi went a little bit later and was able to hold the bottom of the track. Melillo did that thing we've seen a couple other drivers do, but they're kind of like almost like diamond arcing that corner to get down the pit road safely.
Yeah, and you see right there, Akabuzi's able to make up a little bit of time on Melillo just on a better pit entrance. As we see, it looks like Connor Harrington is going to get his lap back. We'll see where these drivers kind of file out here. I'm going to keep an eye on Hamilton Akabuzi.
And I'm about to come around here, so let's see where they're going to file out here.
Hamilton just exited pit road, so he's getting up to speed right now. Turns 1 and 2. You'll see him. That's Justin Melillo on the bottom. Hamilton's right there at the bottom of the screen. We'll see where he files out. Is it going to be in the lead? No, but just barely.
Really, in a way there, the biggest loser of that pit cycle was Justin Melillo. Justin has been up in that draft of the top 5 all night, Josh, and I think that arcing of that pit road entrance and having a hard time getting in has caused him to fall out of the draft here.
Yeah, and that's not just detrimental in the sense of track position. Now you're going to see him. He's basically in clean air, which means he's going to burn significantly more fuel than if he was in the draft, and that's going to be something that hurts his strategy in the long run. I would not be surprised to see Justin Melillo out there maybe looking for another drafting partner, somebody who would be able to come out and just help him. You could fall back 7 seconds.
And what that also hurts by default is that's also going to hurt Akabuzi. Melillo was his drafting partner. Now when Harrington, Hawken, and Ray all pit laps earlier than Akabuzi, he'll be in the same boat as Justin, where he's burning all that fuel out there in clean air by himself. So it really hurts both drivers, oddly enough.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a issue for Akabuzi in the long run, but at the moment, he's going to continue to be at the back of the pack and just probably trying to save as much fuel as he can. He's going to get a little tight off a corner exit right there. It looks like the lap machine of Jake Poulin is going to continue to go laps down. Unfortunate for them. He is quite a number of lap down, 46 in total.
Keep an eye here in the lap traffic. Spencer Ray is going to be out here. Going to try to get around them safely, but those are nervous moments in iRacing around any lap traffic, but especially at a fast pace like these Dallara IR1s, where the slightest contact will end your day.
Yeah, it's something to just be a little bit nervous of. Give those lap down cars plenty of room. as they can. We see on screen right now, look, you're looking at John Poole. He's currently trying to catch up to the cars in front. That's Nicholas Cressy and Ryan Pandicio. He's gonna be able to close up pretty quickly. No issues there, as this is a group of 3 cars, and I think it's Justin Malillo's best bet right now to fall back to these machines.
Oh, I was trying to think in my head, if these guys stay in line and don't race each other, I was trying to think they might, over time, they will catch Justin by default, maybe even before the next pit cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin Malillo is in he's in a bad position at the moment, given the fact that he has no drafting help. He's out there on his own. He'll be, I don't imagine he won't be quick, because those cars in and around him are just in line. We've seen people who want to make up time. The way they'll do it is they'll do almost like a dance maneuver, where they'll have one car kind of lead a corner, then they'll use the draft to have them pass, and then the next car will take that run and kind of just continue to cycle who's the leader if they want to make up time. But no one's out there really doing that right now. So that's something, I don't know if that's going to hurt Justin Malillo at all, but he's going to continue to lose time.
Yeah, so he is the person begging for the caution right now, helping someone gets loose, or someone, there's debris, there's a bunny rabbit, a deer, something, a moose. He doesn't care what it is. He's hoping for a yellow to come out here so he can catch back up to this field and have another run at it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be looking for a caution. If I'm Justin, I think I see a little bit of water on the track. I think there might be rain out there. Pretty much everything in the book.
Yeah, some food wrappers, whatever you got, let's put them out there. Let's go for it,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of food wrappers, I think I'm going to go grab myself some food. In the meantime, we're going to be right back here at FTF1 at Texas. We look forward to you on the other side. Well, I got my hot dog. We're back here at Texas, and we got 116 laps to go here in the MotorRacingPrints.com FTF1 Series, and it is all Connor Harrington out in the lead. Hawken Ray, Akabuzi, Malillo continues to fall back. Candicio, Pressy, Poole is going to be another pack. Egger, Sabelski, and Saucier. That is your third pack on the field, and it looks like Ben Goy is just happy to be here.
A hot dog? How sacrilegious are you? We're in Texas, for Pete's sake, and you got a hot dog? There's brisket, there's ribs, there's steaks, there's chicken everywhere you can look, and you got a hot dog?
I'm sorry, Derek. It was the shortest line. I got told 3 minutes. I had to do the short line. I couldn't do the one for the good food.
No one else listens to Zach. I don't know why you decided today was the day to start.
Well, that's a good point, but I like Zach, and he's on 2 hours of sleep. I'm not going to make his life any more difficult than it needs.
So let me guess. You put ketchup on a hot dog, didn't you?
Is there a problem?
You're like a 6-year-old.
Wow. Unbelievable. Out here just making fun of me for my decisions. That's so
I am
unkind.
So, quick race is going by quick here. 112 laps to go here at Texas. We're at that point of the race where they start counting down, Josh. That's how you know we're making progress. And that ticker at the top of your screen goes from counting up to counting down. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive. Like you said, we are barely 58 minutes into this race right now, and we're already counting down laps instead of counting them up. So that means we're making quick progress of this race. Very quickly going to be working our way through the remainder of this race. I'm actually kind of surprised how quickly it's going by.
Yeah, speaking of counting down, I'll just say it. We're counting down for a few days now before some new content reaches the iRacing service, Josh. We got 2 new cars. We got the Liger LMP3 and that new Cadillac LMDH to join the field. Is there one you're looking forward to more than the other?
I am definitely looking forward to that Cadillac. I'm been a fan ever since I saw it debut. I'm looking forward to, especially on the next weekend, I'm looking forward to watching in real life those cars make their way to the beautiful French countryside and see them race for 24 hours, as well as the Garage 56 machine for NASCAR.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to go to that French track that has the KFC next to it. I have a lot of questions about that KFC, by the way. I got to be honest with you. Like, do you suppose they have a different menu?
I've actually eaten at a KFC in France before. I swear I was there for a long time, and I wasn't just like doing it on a vacation. And they well, it's certainly
it
still
same menu?
chicken. It's chicken, so I mean that's
Same sides and everything. Like, there's nothing different about the menu.
There's a couple of things in there that's a little bit different. Like, we see a pit road taker. That's Connor Harrington. Our leader is going to come down to pit road. So he's going to get service, continuing to split himself separately from Akabuzi and the rest of the team, rest of the drivers. And it's an interesting point. I'm going to go look back to see if he took the apron or if he exited right off of turn number 4. He did take the apron, so no issues there. Not going to be a penalty for Harrington.
Let me throw a weird strategy out to you as an idea here. If I were Justin Malillo, I would short pit it right there and see if I could link up with Connor Harrington.
That's a interesting and bold strategy. Definitely something I think, you might need a move like that, as he's already 5 seconds behind the lead pack. So that's something he's going to need. We see Seth Eggert. He's going to make his way down pit road. And this, we've lost one car pretty much every single green flag pit cycle yet. So who's going to be the one that loses out on this cycle? I would not be surprised if it ends up being Akabuzi, given the fact that Justin Malillo is now separated from the field.
Yeah, I would agree with that, simply because Akabuzi is going to have to either make a choice to pit with these guys and fall in line with the strategy that they're running, or he's going to want to stay out and get those extra laps, but then he's going to be all alone without that draft and burning the fuel. So unless Akabuzi is willing to conform to their pit strategy, I would agree with your assessment here.
We're going to continue to see them knock laps off the board. Brendan Hawkins out in front. We just crossed the 1 hour mark just 2 laps ago. So 1 hour into this race with less time quickly happening. Ryan Pandicio is going to come down pit road. Nicholas Pressy also came down pit road last lap. But Ryan Pandicio is going to be the one on pit road this time by, as we continue to see the 3 cars that are out in the lead turn laps down. And I'm noticing something kind of interesting. Justin Melillo is making up time. He's made up 0.3 of a second in the last 2 laps.
I think part of that is because when you watch these guys race here at the front of the line, they no longer were comfortable. They were moving, they were shaking, they were up and down the hill or up and down the turn, the banking part of me, and that's what can cause part of that. Now we saw a pitter right there. We saw someone go alone.
That was Hawken. Hawken, our leader, our points leader, coming down pit road is going to get service to his vehicle.
He's going to come down alone. So now there's Spencer Ray and Hamilton Akabuzi left on the track together. Now, if they decide to pit together, we might have been wrong about this, Josh.
Yeah, if they come down pit road at the same time together, that's definitely going to affect how things are going to turn out for Akabuzi. And it may be a different driver who loses out on this one. And right now, I can tell you, if I am Spencer Ray, you know what I want to see? I just want to see a freaking checkered flag. Has yet to finish a race this year on the lead lap. And he is just hoping that he can finish on the lead lap one of these times.
He just made it known he's pitting this time. So all 3 of 4 of your leaders are all going to pit on different laps. So inevitably, you would think they're all going to come back together because of that. Like, they're all alone. Odds are they all find their way back to each other.
Sorry, I tried to mute there. I'm sorry if I coughed into you guys' ears. Yeah, I was actually, while you were saying that, I was looking on the back of the backstretch, and there was an absolute gaggle of cars. And we see right now, Akabuzi is going to continue to go out there and just race around the track. Melillo is coming down pit road, so it looks like the fuel burning for Melillo. This is going to be interesting to just compare. When does Akabuzi come down versus Melillo? You see all that fuel burning that Melillo did is going to end up hurting him and making him have to stop a little bit sooner than Akabuzi. And Akabuzi stays out yet another lap.
And of course, the story will track as the laps continue to count down as your points battle. Because before these last set of pit cycles, your 2 points leader, who are 1 point apart in the FTF1 standings, were right next to each other. Now, right now, Akabuzi's leading the race. So obviously, he's going to come out of this race with the points lead. But that'll cycle around. I cannot believe how long he's going, Josh.
That right there just shows just how much that fuel saving has done him over the course of the run. He's going to continue to stay out. Now, one thing I have kept in mind here is just where these drivers have kind of re-merged into the track. And I can tell you right now, Harrington, Ray, and Hawken, they're not next to each other. They're very far apart from each other, in fact, and this may end up being a very interesting and spread out race to the end, because it may now actually, we see a little bit of a battle here. We see one car really far on the outside. That looks like that is the Seth Eggert machine and John Poole machine. So that's Hawken on the top side. So these are all lap cars racing around Hawken. This is a dangerous situation for Hawken to be in.
Oh, yeah, this is not where you want to be. You want these guys to fall in line and either help you draft or get in front of them. I don't want to be in the middle of them. That's, to me, the worst side. And he heard me and decided to go on around.
Akabuzi comes down pit road, gets right down to pit road. He is opting for 5th gear as he goes down pit road.
So you could argue that the driver on the screen here is the one who's going to benefit the most off this pit stop because he has that 3-car draft. I was taking a look at Connor Harrington. He has a car in front of him now, so he's also getting a draft, but he's going to pass that car by here.
Akabuzi just left pit road. Now, last time he left pit road, he just managed to merge back into this pack. And I think as it stands, he's going to actually come out. And I would not be shocked if he's able to maintain the lead here, or at least be in the battle. As you see Akabuzi, Brandon Hawken, the story of the 2 championship leaders continues as they are now in the same pack.
We have a wreck out of 3 and 4. Single car, no caution, sorry.
That is Bryce Saucier. He is going to go ahead and carry it down. He is stuck just limping that car around. He is done for the race.
he got loose, or maybe I'm not sure if it was tight or loose. Something happened to him in 3 and 4. He was riding around helping Connor Harrington draft. And there's your caution.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is a caution for this machine. I.
I don't think there was a way for him to. Unfortunately, there was not really a way for him to safely, not have that caution happen.
Oh, what's going on behind them? That's Jake Poulin. Almost wrecked, but you see right there, just gets loose. That's unfortunate.
Oh, hard hit.
He was okay until he took that second hit that destroyed the right front of his machine.
And unfortunately, here's the hard part: is watch it again here.
Wow, got in those marbles.
That's the hard hit right there. And unfortunately for this moment right here, Josh, there's no way for him to get down off the track safely that wasn't going to bring that yellow out. That you're trying to let drivers by on the inside to the left. That's the right move as a driver. But if at any point there, if he stops and toes, it's going to bring the yellow out.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have much of an option in that scenario. He's going to continue to go forward unless he were to just pull it all the way off the track. But he was in a very weird predicament that made it not available to him. As we see Hawkin, Akabuzi, Ray, Perryton, Malillo, and Pandicio all come down pit road here.
Well, let me tell you something. I would suspect that Roger Saucier is on Justin Malillo's Christmas card list this year.
I would say so. I think Malillo is more than happy with what just happened on track right there. Spencer Ray, 6.9 seconds. Akabuzi has a 7.5 second pit stop. I'm actually a little bit surprised that those pit stops were those time. I think that was mostly tires ended up being the issue on that pit stop. I don't think fuel was the issue. Now, Derek, you know what that does do right there is that neutralizes everything Hamilton Akabuzi had built up for the last couple of green flag runs.
It really does, unfortunately for Akabuzi and even Justin Malillo to a certain extent. It neutralizes everything they had done. And what it also does, there's that old, trend or meme or comment, or whatever you call it, that we make fun of, which is cautions breed cautions. It's there for a reason. Although we got more people pulling down here. We're likely to see maybe 1 or 2 more wrecks here before we get this thing calmed down again, because now people are going to be eager to go. Now they know how important the track position is. It's 87 to go. You can't wait anymore. So I'm a little nervous about how this race goes moving forward.
An interesting pit strategy here. Justin Malillo has come down pit road yet again. I think this is strictly to top off his fuel. Oh, never mind. I can't tell if he's getting tires or not. He might have just gotten tires as well. So he comes down pit road, gets more fuel into his machine. So he is doing everything he can to try and make himself at least semi-separated from the rest of the field.
Yeah, there's a saying in business that I subscribe to, which is, in order to be, there's 3 ways to be in life: better than, less than, or different than. And that's how you compete with people, is by being better than them, by doing different than them, or by doing less than them. What Justin is doing right now is something different. He's going to top it off. He's going to have more fuel. And hopefully, if this stays green again, maybe it pays off.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin Malillo has had a pretty strong season so far. I mean, all things considered, it's a very Justin Malillo way of going about the season. He's had strong finishes and or just decent finishes. He didn't get quite the finish he was hoping for when he was at Spa. I'm certain of it, but he has been having fairly good runs, specifically with that US 500. Just the beginning of the season where he got a second place finish and just skyrocketed himself in the driver championship. So I'm sure he's continuing to focus on maintaining his position. 3rd place in the championship. Very, very much out of the picture for the lead overall, but yeah.
And Justin's one of those guys on iRacing that we all know. He's a fan favorite. He does beautiful photography work. He's done media work. He's won awards for it. So everyone always wants to see him do well, and we're always happy when he does.
Fortunately for him, not really anyone near him in the points at the moment that are currently still in the race. So he He is currently third in points, but he hasn't had points added to his name since race number 3. So I think he is going to continue to just try and focus on getting in points, as we are going to go green flag racing with 86 laps to go. 85.
And for the first time in a long time, Harrington will not start in the top 2 here.
Yeah, Harrington will be P4. 4th car in line right now. We get a pretty normal start here as we bring a lot of drivers back into the picture. This is our biggest pack we've had in a long time, as we see Spencer Ray is going to go on the inside of Akabuzi. Akabuzi, you can already see him lifting. I think that is a long-term fuel strategy play.
It's also a scary play. Like, I get what you're doing, but there's only a certain point where you can lift and be safe to the field around you. So you did it fine. I'm not criticizing that move, but it's scary when you're in the car to see it happen because you're just not sure why he's lifting. But yeah, he's going to get back there and see if he can save some gas.
Justin Malillo is currently running P6. He is just barely behind Hamilton by about 0.3 of a second, so still within there as we see Spencer Ray is going to go to the high side. Got to be careful up there. We've seen a couple of drivers get loose. That was what our most previous caution was for, was somebody going a little too high and getting loose. But Spencer Ray is going to make that outside line work as best he can.
He's at least determined to. Going to be in that yellow machine. He's going to now get behind the leader, which is Hawken. Suck in that draft, and we'll see if he kicks it out again. Mostly going to stay in line here.
Line down the back stretch here at Texas. Spencer Ray is chasing Hawken, but not quite pressuring him like he was just a few laps ago. Ray is in line as we see. It looks like Pandicio is looking to make a move on Harrington. Thinks better of it. Nope, mate, never mind. Pandicio keeps showing his nose on the inside of Harrington. I think he's definitely thinking about something. And as he makes a move right here, Pandicio is going to go on the inside of Harrington, move Harrington back to the 4th position. No protest on that outside lane. I just don't think that outside has the same run as Pandicio. Looks like he's going to do the same move on Ray. Never mind, thinks better of it.
By the way, look at this. By the way, a few seconds ago, Justin Malillo we thought was off the draft. Now, not only is he in the draft, now he has Seth Eggert behind him, pushing him to stay in that draft.
And that right there is the importance of just staying in it. Seth Eggert was a lap down, got the lucky dog last time by. Now he's back a part of this lead pack. Definitely something that yellow saved his day. I think Seth Eggert is happy to be a part of this.
Yep. In a race like this, you just need 4 wheels and a car. And in about 77 laps from now, you can have yourself in a mindset to wonder how you're going to win this race.
Spencer Ray was looking to make a move on the outside and once again dropped back. I think Spencer, he tends to get a little bit antsy. I don't know if oh man, Ryan Pandicio has a massive moment entering turn number 1, is still trying to recover from it. Hamilton Akabuzi almost ends up behind him, but my goodness, Ryan Pandicio is on the inside. Oh my goodness, this is all sorts of screwed up at the moment for him.
Now, this is an exciting race going on up here, but if we can move back a second to, I've lost my car number, I'm sorry, to Pressy and John Poole back there in behind the field. They're having an interesting conversation right now. They're trying to figure out how much fuel they want to save or if they just want to go race. These guys are in the back of that pack, and they're pondering falling off and saving fuel.
I think that is in my personal opinion, what I've seen so far, the worst thing you can do is to lose the lead draft. No matter what, all things considered, the most important thing is being a part of that lead draft. Because if you try and save fuel, I know that these two drivers had to take the wave around, so they don't have the same fuel strategy. But their best situation would be to just be a part of this. Oh my goodness, as John Poole almost makes contact with the backside of Nicholas Pressy.
I completely agree with your assessment, but look how they're racing. They're not racing in line. They're up and down the track. It's like they want to fall off. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, look at this.
This is the closest they've been to the lead. Maybe there's a little bit of excitement in their eyes as they see the front of the pack and potentially the lead. Maybe they want to get up there and dictate things a little bit more. Maybe it's in their best interest to kind of pipe up the energy within this pack, hopefully cause another caution, and even the playing field for themselves. They are a little bit offset as it stands on their stint, they got about 4 more laps comparative to the rest of the field, as the other drivers are just they've just been out for
Look
just
at
a
that
little bit longer.
power move to the outside right there.
Yeah, look at that.
That
is
shows you how
incredible.
much. I think that shows you how much the rest of the field might be trying to save some fuel already. That he just powered himself around on the outside and passed that field.
That was certainly impressive. Just a few laps ago, he was running all the way back in the 9th position. Moved John Poole up to the lead. That is an impressive run for him. He started in the 9th position to begin the night. Now is running first, and he is going to continue to lead the field. As we see, looks like Melillo is going to work on the inside of Pandisio. Pandisio continuing to fall after that early run towards the front of the pack.
Trying to think of how to pull a Joe Peak here and say, he pulled himself up to the lead or changed his name to John Pole. I was trying to think of a Joe Peak comment to make there, but I don't have one. I'll work on it.
Looks like he's in the pole position for this race. There you go. I don't know. That sounds similar to what you were
If
saying
Joe was here,
earlier.
he'd have it. Yeah.
Come on, Joe. Come on. We need something here. Single file. 70 to go here at Texas. Is John is going to continue to gap himself out almost a second ahead of those cars behind him. As you see, those cars appear to be trying to save as much gas as possible. As you see Justin Melillo, he's going to continue to move forward. Spencer Ray is going to get caught on the outside. Connor Harrington's going to be on his inside, but they're going to get that all lined up and sorted. No factor right there as the Sunoco machine continues to lead this group, and I think Ray is really trying to oversave, and that's causing a little bit of a split.
It's frustrating some people. Yeah, it's frustrating the drivers. You see him moving. You see him trying to find a different lane. You see him backing it up, and it's frustrating them because it's losing pace, but also they're not sure what to do. They thought they were going to fall in line and race, and now they got to get around him and burn fuel. That's what Justin Melillo just did, by the way. Justin, who went and got that extra lap of gas under yellow, is burning all of that off because he got around Spencer Ray, I think.
Yeah, he may be burning it off a little bit more, but he may be trying to get up to the back of John Poole in order to save that fuel again. I think Spencer Ray is trying a little too aggressively to save fuel. You see he's already 1.5 seconds behind the leader, and that is about 0.8 of a second behind Melillo. So that's something he's just got to be a little bit conscious about. Make that about a second now behind Melillo. He's just got to be careful not to lose that draft. Otherwise, he's going to have a hard time catching those two lead drivers, as Melillo has now caught John.
I guess the comment here would be that Justin and John are pulling away from the field lap by lap.
There you go. That is the Joe Peak dad joke right there, or dad comment. I dig it.
Beautiful job getting around that lapped car. Now, if that lapped car falls in line, which it looks like it might, that if it could keep pace, that would allow them to be even better as far as getting away from the field. But I think that lap car just can't keep pace with them, unfortunately.
No, and Spencer Ray almost wrecks in the corner. He's going to save it, and that's about as close as you can get to a wreck for Spencer Ray. Unbelievable, amazing recovery, and that almost involved several drivers. But what that does is it moves those lead cars a lot farther away.
Yes and no. Here's the counterpoint to that, though. What it does is gets him out of their way. And now maybe they can throw the throttle down and they can go, versus trying to sit behind Spencer Ray and get around him. As a race car driver, you never want to hope for a wreck. You don't want to cheer for others' misfortune, but you are happy. Watch this here and see what happens to Spencer Ray.
Just looks like he gets a little loose in the corner. Oh, no,
hit
catches
the apron.
Oh, my
that's
goodness.
so.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josh. If we had a textbook of how to save a race car, that's chapter 1 right there. I think.
I would 100% agree. That was, you don't get those kind of recoveries in these Dallara IR1s. When they go loose like that, they tend to snap on you. So good job on Spencer Ray and everyone else for not letting that be a wreck.
And as a driver, depending upon your setup, Josh, whether you have force feedback wheel, force feedback pedals, whatever you may have, the sensations you get in your wheel and your pedals when that happens to you is actually kind of petrifying. In a certain way, your wheel kind of goes weightless compared to what you're used to. That's the first sign. If you have some of the force feedback pedals, maybe the Fanatec or other brands, your pedals begin to rumble. And it scares the heck out of you when moments like that happen.
Yeah, it's definitely really, really sketch when that does happen. And it is it's something to be concerned about. As we see, it looks like Brian Sabelski is going to enter pit road right here. He had to take the wave around last time. Unfortunately, Derek, your hope that it would move these guys closer to those 2 lead drivers,
Yeah, I was wrong.
Is not appear to be panning out. They're continuing to lose speed. They are now 4.5 seconds behind those 2 drivers in the front. And I think Justin Malillo is feeling awfully pretty right now as he stands to save a lot of fuel and continue to maintain that second position.
Yeah, right now he is. The only question I would have, if John Poole and Justin... Oh, low. Nice job to borrow a baseball reference, buzzing the tower there. I was going to say, if Poole and Malillo are not on the same pit strategy, then maybe this field has a chance when those 2 break up. But yeah, right now it's not happening.
Yeah, right now, a little bit of a weird just developing in the point situation. Malillo is looking to get a lot of points here. And as it stands, Pandicio and Akabuzi are not in a massive points gaining position. It's still going to lean, or Hawken and Akabuzi are in a massive point situation. It looks like Malillo is going to be the leader as Poole is going to come down to pit road.
So this is that moment for the field, I think. Now that Justin has no drafting help, and now he's out there by himself in clean air, we'll see if Eggert, Harrington, Hawken, and the others can now close that gap at all. Now, Malillo does have this benefit of this car in front of him. So maybe he'll get the draft there.
Yeah, I don't think that car is going to be quite quick enough for him. I believe that's just, he's going to go right by that machine. Poole is going to be leaving pit road here. Not going to be able to help Malillo out at all. He's going to be actually quite a bit back. So unfortunately for Malillo, he's going to be burning more fuel here. But he's going to continue to separate himself out from these lead packs. Seth Eggert still 6.5 seconds behind.
I wonder, though, if we were to sit on board with Eggert or Harrington or Hawken, are they not full throttle? Like, that's what I can think of. How are you full throttle and not catching Justin Malillo? I'm having a hard time grasping that thought, honestly, Josh. Let's listen in for a second here. Oh, look at that.
Can't really tell if that's lifting in the corner or if that's just engine bogging down due to the G-forces. But it's
well, they're riding a 7th the whole
some.
time. You can see that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm inclined to believe that these guys are full throttle throughout the entire
Let's watch
track.
Justin here. This will be an indicator. Oh, Justin's definitely got more lights through the corner, I think. Watch 3 and 4 here before we cut away. I think he's got a few more lights in 3 and 4 than those other guys did. He's definitely a little harder on the throttle than those guys were.
He's actually approaching the machine of Brian Sabelski, so he's not too far behind the Sabelski machine. Wonder if he's going to be able to get a draft. He is going to continue to lead the field 6.6 seconds back to Seth Eggert.
And right now, John Poole, formerly your leader, that 19 machine, has found himself 1 lap down. You see that on the left side of your screen now, back to P9. And then also to cover a point you made about 100 laps ago, although it doesn't feel that long, look at Goyette. He endured what happened. He stuck around in a race, and he gained a spot. He's now up to 11th, and 1 spot closer to a top 10 as this race goes on.
Yeah, that's just going out there, continuing to just put points on the board. You see he's going to get passed again by the second place Seth Eggert, but that's just, he just needs to be maintaining his P's and Q's, and he may continue to pick up spots even if it takes the rest of the race.
Whew, man, look how close he rides that wall, though. I know he had to because of traffic, but oh, that's scary.
We just had someone going down, it looks like, to enter pit road. That's Jake Poulin, not anyone really in contention to win this race. So he's going to come down to pit road. He was out in front of Justin Malillo, and that might have been the car he needed to stay out in front in order to catch the back of the 10 machine of Brian Sabelski in order to continue to get a little bit of a draft. So unfortunately for Justin Malillo, not able to quite get the break that he was hoping for there.
No, not really. But Justin now has put almost a 7-second gap on this field, and it's not decreasing. I would have put money on it, Josh. I thought for sure Eggert, Harrington, Hawken, and the others would run him down.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different than a super speedway race with a stock car. Stock cars, you tend, as we see, it looks like Connor Harrington is going to make a move here on Seth Eggert. He's going to be able to get it done without much of a protest from the Eggert car. It's not like stock car super speedway racing where you can push the car ahead of you. These cars are so fragile. There's not that much of what stock car drivers call a bubble. You're not pushing a lot of air out in front of your car. So you're not going to be able to really push the same way as we see. It looks like Seth Eggert announced he's going to pit. Justin Malillo is going to come down pit road. So it looks like this strategy for Justin Malillo did burn a lot more fuel, but he had just barely caught the back of, I believe, the Sabelski machine. 6.5 seconds is the interval going into this pit cycle.
Now, earlier, we saw Justin lose a little bit of time to Akabosi on pit road because of how Justin entered. That entrance looked better, but that'll be our next questions when these guys all cycle around. Will be, is that gap still 7 seconds, or did Justin lose some time for this pit road entrance, pardon me?
Yeah, it looks like Justin Malillo is going to choose to exit his pit stall in 4th gear, so continuing to follow that strategy right now. 29 seconds flat for Justin Malillo on pit. Oh, Seth Eggert takes out, I believe, not Seth Eggert, Spencer Ray takes out Nicholas Pressey, unfortunately, and Spencer Ray is going to need to get a new nose on that machine. He doesn't have a meatball flag at the moment, but Pressey unfortunately does. And Pressey is crab walking down pit road. I think that's going to end Pressey's night.
And I think, to say it nicely, Pressey is not impressed with Spencer Ray right now.
Oh, man. I think that might be Pressey's race over. Unfortunately, he is crab walking, and he is done for the night more than likely. Spencer Ray, unfortunately, just got a little too hot on the pit road. We'll see a replay right here. See Pressey working on the inside. Pressey gets a really good run right here. And he is going to come right down to the bottom. Spencer Ray is on the outside, continuing to keep that speed up. He's going to lock it down. Overshoots pit entrance. Oh, man. Oh, and that
probably also a black flag, I would think.
No black flag for Spencer Ray. I think he was able to slow it down just by spinning out there, saving up enough time, but he's still stuck on pit road. Looks like he just got released with a 53.7 second pit stop right there. And that is unfortunate for Spencer Ray. Not quite where he wanted to be, but Pressey also, unfortunately, looks like he's going to be out of the race. And that's going to move Ben Goyette up into the top 10 right now.
As you said earlier, that's what happens in these races. Even you're 7 laps down or whatever 7 laps down for Goyette, you hang on to it. Maybe you find yourself in a good spot. So Justin Malillo, now that you get John Poole now, who is about a second behind. And then, Harrington's got himself up to a second. That's a big difference in what we saw from Justin Malillo before the pit stops. In fact, I'll be honest with you, for Harrington to have that big a gain, I think you have the times on your screen, if you don't mind. Are their pit stop times equal? Because I'm confused.
I'll go back right now, but right now 30 seconds flat or 29 seconds flat for Justin Malillo. And it looks like Connor Harrington, what he was able to pull on pit road was, let's see, he was 28.5 seconds, so a little bit faster. Brandon Hawken also 28.5 seconds. So I think it's more about in time and out time than anything else. Justin Malillo was enjoying a 6.5 second lead before all this went down, but his in time and out time, it's just not what he wanted it to be, and now he's fallen back to 3rd place, but saving a little bit of fuel here.
And listen, all kidding aside, if you're falling back to 3rd place, you're having a good day.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You're in contention to win. 37 laps to go at this track. You're in a really good position. You might have one more pit stop. I'm not quite sure if he has one more pit stop or if they're good to the end. But this is something that we'll keep our eyes on right now. I think he'll be good to the end. Yeah, they should be good to the end. Their last pit cycle, at least for Connor Harrington, looks like it was about 160, and he had to come down pit road on lap 203. So that's about 40 laps. It's going to be close, but I think they'll be able to make it with whenever they need to. 35 laps to go here at Texas. We're going to come back and be commercial free to the end of the race after these messages. Thank you very much for tuning into the Modern Racing Prince FTF1 Series. Welcome back to the ModernRacingPrince.com FTF1 Series at Texas. We're going to be commercial free to the end, as long as we don't have any major red flags or long cautions. I don't think that's going to be a problem here. 28 laps to go in this endurance race to the end. As you see right here, Harrington and Melillo have lost touch with John Poole, but I don't think that's going to be a factor. I think John Poole can't make it to the end of the race, so they are just currently racing, saving a little bit of fuel, trying to make it to the end with no more stops.
Yeah, so now that mental game begins to play of, how much fuel did you take? How comfortable are you getting on the pedal? And now we got this 2x2 racing going on. Now talk about comfort. Oh, there's Akabuzi going on by.
There's a lot of racing here right now. It looks like Sabelski is going to go right back out. And he was just barely at the tail end of the lead lap last time we saw him out of the nose of Justin Melillo. Now he's out of the nose of Justin Melillo, but for position, move him to the second position right now.
Sorry, I'm just kind of watching and just kind of amazed at this. We talk about how tight these cars are and how hard it is to control them. Here they are, 2x2. Going down here with 25 to go, Josh. Oh, now they're 3 wide.
3 wide, entering turn number 3 at Texas. They're able to make it work. Last time we saw that, they were almost wrecking. But like you said, these cars are extremely hard to control. And unfortunately for the driver in the booth with us right now, he was the unfortunate bystander of someone losing control, Nicholas Pressey. Fortunately out of this race a little bit early due to a pit road incident. Nicholas, could you have done anything different, or what did you see out of your eyes?
I don't know. It's just, you work all day very patiently. People who are working around you. Fortunately, teammate Bryce out earlier. We're also working with Mr. Zabelski, who's been very helpful. we were experimenting with a lot of things going into the race. So the plan for the final stop was to take no tires because apparently double stinting was faster. It was a little risky because you were risking blowing the right front, but if the tires could last, you'd be maybe 2/10 faster a lap by the end of the run. And going into the final stop, I knew at least a couple of people were going to be coming in because that was just barely at the edge of the window. You come in, you see the person to your right going a lot faster than you, and you're like, man, I probably should have gone a bit faster. And then a few seconds later, I lose sight of them, and there goes my right rear tire. I don't know if I could have done anything different. I was pretty close to the inside wall. I think maybe if I was further up, I think the best thing I could have done was maybe, I don't know, soften the blow by being further up.
Yeah, that's definitely something that maybe looking back on things you could maybe have changed. I don't see anything you could have done there. You're gonna finish 11th here today, so gonna match your car number as far as your finishing position. You've had a fairly solid last couple of races. Were you hoping to get a little bit more tonight? What was your main goal starting the night, and were you kind of on that way to get that goal?
Well, I wanted to sort of get the finish I thought I should have gotten last week at Spa, at least because last week at Spa with a lap and a half to go, I blew both my rear tires, and and no warning whatsoever, and that took me out of the points. So I said I really need a good points day today, so I would be pitting extra times under yellow, all that, experimenting with whatever I had to in order to get the best day I could, and maybe go for a win because the window was there. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, this one hurts because I think this was one of the ones where I was really looking forward to. I was really confident in.
Well, that's unfortunate for Nicholas Pressey and the 11 machine, not able to get that finish. Thank you very much, Nicholas. We're hoping you best at the next race.
Yeah, see you guys at Le Mans.
Nicholas Pressey finishes 11th. Pretty certain that's going to be where he finishes for the rest of the race.
Looks that way. Well, just to give you an idea how tight the fuel loads are in these cars, Josh, while you were talking to Nicholas, Connor Harrington had a chat with race control and wanted to confirm if there were any green-white checkers. I suspect to find out if he thinks he needs to save more fuel. And they said, yes, of course, there is one here in this oval race, but I suspect that's not the answer he wanted to hear.
No, I think everyone out there wanted the answer to be 0. So I think it's in their best interest to try and go green to the end, at least make it to the white flag so that you're going the scheduled distance. You're not going to add any extra laps. Or if they so choose to wreck, to do it before that point. I mean, I think it's pretty easy. You got so few cars on the lead lap. If a green-white checkered happens, you come down and pit. What's the worst? You're going to be 6th place. We've seen people make that up in how much time? And you'd be on fresh tires with a light fuel load. I think it's a no-brainer there.
The story of the race right now is going to be that Akabozi is leading this race. We head down to 1 and 2. And by default, unless I can't count, I am a commentator, not a mathematician, but I believe that also put Akabozi in the points lead at the end of this race if he wins in this position.
Absolutely, that would move him to the points lead. Akabuzi would swing favor right back into his way, give him a lot of momentum. Hawken currently running 5th. Hawken needs to make up time on Akabuzi or hope that Akabuzi starts to fall backwards. That's not something that I would be willing to bet on, though. Akabuzi's just so quick around tracks like this.
So real quick, let's talk about this series, how unique or eclectic or whatever word you want to use. Here's the upcoming schedule for FTF1. You'll see it here live on FTF.gg. Next week, it's the 24 laps of Le Mans. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern here on FTF.gg, followed by a Mystery Grand Prix on June 16th. And then you get a week off, and then the Chicagoland Speedway, the Chicago 300, will round out the month of June here for FTF1.
Yeah, that's a super unique. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what the Mystery Grand Prix ends up being for these drivers. No idea what that was going to be yet, but definitely something going to be a wild card. Who is it going to play in favor to, and who is going to be the ones that are able to capitalize on a race like that?
And then I'll promote it because it's my favorite, one of my favorite events of the year, July 15th and 22nd, the second annual Rectangle 500. We're already ready to do it again, Josh.
There you go. And our race controller just came in the chat. The Mystery Grand Prix, Road America. So that's going to be where that mystery. Yeah, it ain't no mystery no more. It's Road America. That amazing track up in Wisconsin. Lots of it's the National Motorsports Park, I think, of America. As we see, there's a little bit of snaking going back and forth. Pandisio wants his way around Akabuzi. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it this time by, but 6 laps to go as they cross the line. There's going to be a lot more aggressive moves, and Melillo is stalking from 3rd right now, hoping to get a win.
It tells me these guys might be more comfortable than I thought with their fuel loads. If you're willing to snake around the track and move back and forth and make these moves, you must be more comfortable than I thought you were on gas. Because if you're trying to save gas, those extra movements and extra lifts and throttles do not help your gas situation. So at least the front 3 must be more comfortable than I thought they were a few laps ago.
Working lap 242 right now. 6 cars on the lead lap. 6 cars all in the lead pack. And it's going to be really intense as we see a little bit of side-by-side as Harrington makes his way to the outside, gets past Melillo, is working on the outside of Pandisio. Is he going to be able to complete it? He might be able to stay out there. Not quite. Oh, no, he does. Oh, and it gets real tight through the tri-oval.
What a great job staying there side-by-side with Pandisio. He's going to take P2 for the moment, and they have lap traffic ahead here. These guys need to move over. This is... Oh, my goodness.
Wow, that gets really intense as the lap car is going to hit the outside wall. Ben Goit's going to move out of the way, not going to be a factor for these cars, but it is getting absolutely intense coming down to 3 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. Looks like Akabuzi, Harrington, Pandisio, Melillo, your top 4 as we go side by side. Harrington looking to pass Akabuzi on the outside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Akabuzi drifts up just a little bit. Harrington is able to stay side by side, tight racing across the line, 2 to go.
Wow, that was a close run at the line there. You saw that great racing from Justin Melillo's point of view, how chaotic it is. Man, that move by Connor Harrington to slam it to the inside, if we had a move of the race, that may turn out to be it right there, Josh.
I think right now, look at Brandon Hawken. He has an absolute head of steam off of these corner exits. Oh my goodness, Harrington almost makes contact with Akabuzi. Bring Brandon Hawken into the picture. He's going to race on the extreme outside line through 1 and 2. Almost loses it off of corner exit.
I think the question now for Akabuzi and Harrington is who has the better pusher, who has the more patient pusher. It is not Connor Harrington. Connor Harrington's pusher is willing to go outside 3 wide rather than help pusher Connor Harrington around contact.
Akabuzi wins the race.
Harrington said he was out of gas and sputtered at the end.
Oh my goodness gracious. Akabuzi just barely manages to win the race by 26 1,000ths of a second. Ryan Pandisio, 58 1,000ths of a second. Hawkins, 79 1,000ths of a second. That might be our closest finish yet of the season.
That was exciting. We waited around for 200 plus laps to get that. I'm in. I'll do that every week. Call me next week. Let's come back here and I'll watch that again.
I was extremely caught off guard that was the checkered flag. It felt like we were at 2 to go, just a few seconds to go. 40 seconds really went by quick there for those drivers. Akabuzi still managing to maintain just such an established control over this championship. He just dominated when he needed to.
I would love to see that last corner. There it is. Zach right on cue. Watch this. Come to the outside. This is to the white here. So this is white flag. We were both so excited. I think we missed Barney the flagman putting it out. Now you're going to see him 2 wide here.
Yeah, this is incredible right here. You see Hawken. He comes with an absolute head of steam on that outside lane. He is almost able to make it work up there. You see him, and we see...
Sorry, go ahead. But right about here is when he's going to sputter.
Oh, man. Wow. That was incredible. Right to the last drop he was racing. Man.
And unfortunately, the bad news for Connor Harrington's team is he's going to come home second, and they're still going to have a damaged race car to fix on Monday. Watch this here at the end.
Man, that's hard impact right there. I think Justin Malillo might have also run out of gas off of corner exit right there. He looked super slow, finished 6th place, and that was just about as close as you could call it as far as fuel. 6 cars on the lead lap at the end of this race, and we saw 4 of them. You could have put them under a blanket. That's how close they were. Then Seth Eggert, Justin Malillo, John Poole, who was leading with just a few laps to go, had to come down pit road and get more fuel. Brian Sabelski 8th. Spencer Ray with that late race wreck, but it comes in 9th. And Ben Goy, well, like we said, top 10 wasn't out of the question. There he is in 10th place.
That's right. Let's go 11th on back. You got Nicholas Pressey, we talked to a few minutes ago. Jake Pullen, Bryce Saucier. Then you got the 8 car there. Austin Knight, the one we talked to him earlier. You got Tori Pushman, Ryan Noraki, Nate S. Stewart, who retired pretty early in. And then Bill Colley the second and Cody Ware round out your top 20. And then we'll take a look at the rest here. That'll be Rafael Ruiz and David T. Cabrera round out your top 22 here. An exciting race at Texas, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Big race right there. Seth Eggert, want to give a special shout out, started 16th, finished 5th. Definitely a good move forward throughout the race. And Hamilton Akabuzi, if you're out there, we would love to hear from you. That was an incredible race to the finish right there. Hamilton able to make a lot happen. Total run time of the race, 1 hour and 44 minutes. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and actually we'll catch up with the winner right now. Hamilton Akabuzi winning the race here at Texas in, well, that was just an incredible fashion to finish the race out.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a crazy fun race. Like, it came down to fuel strategy, and I just had a few extra laps that I could go early and get to the lead, and just able to hold it just barely. But yeah, that was really fun. Like, in the first really long green flag run, I was saving as hard as possible. I think it was me and Justin Malillo, which until he made a mistake in the pits, we had like 8 laps of extra fuel on the field, and we were going to cut out a pit stop. So yeah, really fun race. It was cool, the strategy, everything.
Now coming to the line there, you guys were racing really tight next to each other. A couple of close calls there. Was there any moment there that you thought, I don't know if I'm going to make the checkered flag here. I might end up in the outside wall?
I was more worried. I didn't think we were going to wreck. I trusted everybody that we weren't going to wreck around me, but like until the finish, of course. But I was just wondering if he'd be able to get the run, because there were a couple times where he actually Connor beat me to the line, and I was just able to get a good enough run at the final corner, and he sputtered on fuel a little bit.
Well, you barely made it to the line and in the lead, but now you're going to move yourself pretty comfortably out into the Drivers' Championship lead in front of Brandon Hawken. Brandon Hawken, although 79 1,000ths of a second behind you, that's just good enough for 4th. Is that a good feeling going into the next couple of races for the next month?
Yeah, I mean, Hawkins so fast. I threw away like potential top 2s at Pocono and Phoenix, so like I threw away like a 40-point lead in points to Hawken, and well, now I'm like 13 ahead, so I will just hoping to do well on all the ovals and again finish right behind him on the road courses, because there's no way I can beat Hawken. He's way too fast on road courses.
Well, Hamilton trying to just do good on the ovals. I think getting a win on the oval is that's a good way to just do good on the oval. So congratulations again, Hamilton.
Thank you.
Hamilton Akabuzi winning here at Texas. We'll catch up with Connor Harrington. Derek's caught up with him.
Connor, what a great run to the end that you had there. We heard you say you sputtered it on gas. But yet 10 laps ago, you were asking if there's a green white checker. So how confident were you could make it around on gas? And when did you decide to say, screw it, we'll see what happens?
Yeah, it was really crazy there at the end. I just kept, watching, my fuel calculator and just trying to figure out, like, okay, like when can I absolutely go and send it? And as soon as we were in the number to finish, under green with no overtime or anything like that, that's when we just said, okay, we got to go. And it almost worked. We were, about 150 yards short on fuel. But that's pretty good considering we were in pretty dire straits there, kind of in no man's land after that yellow flag, or after that last green flag stop that we made.
If Brandon Hawken had stayed in line behind you, like Paradiso did for the winner, do you think you could have got there, or do you think it was kind of hopeless regardless?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I guess I should have saved for another like half a straightaway. If I had done that, I guess it would have been good. I mean, there's a little bit of a push factor with these cars, so possibly, but I think we would have still ran out of fuel. That was our limiting factor. It was close though. I think coming to the white, I think I might have just gotten by Hamilton, and if it worked out, it worked out. But happy to finish P2 and survive.
So my last question for the night, before that yellow came out, you guys were in a weird cycle of stops, and all of you guys are running different laps and pitting at different times, and cycling back together. How are you feeling about that process? Do you think you would have been okay at the end, or would you have kind of been short of everyone else on gas, do you think?
Without that yellow, I think we would have been okay. I think it would have been a really tough fuel save for the guys that wanted to try to make it on one last stop. They would have still, I mean, I think only one of them would be able to do it. Everybody else would kind of have to fall on the sword and lead. And, I mean, you even saw with like John, when, you're going full out and you're trying to hit a number that's pretty significant. You're just not going to be able to keep up with the leader. I mean, the wake in this car is really big, and the power of the slipstream is massive. But in terms of like making it, I don't know. I think I wanted to be up front. If I maybe had somebody to swap with, and we could run some good laps. I think taking the extra stop, I think it would have been interesting to see if we could have done that. But I would have probably have to organize a swap to get the pace up, going so fast that the guys who are trying to save are forced to not be able to make it.
Fair enough. Well, good job tonight, and we'll see you next week for the 24 laps of Le Mans.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. Well, Josh, what an exciting night it was. We saw 3 wide, we saw 2 wide, we saw 2x2, we saw passes, and everything in between. I had fun.
Yeah, it was an exciting night right there. Definitely a lot of excitement, and I just my goodness, that went by so fast. I cannot believe that it's the race is over. There was an hour and 44 minutes to go 267 miles, but we don't want to forget Ryan Pandicio, who made. Oh, yep, there we go. Ryan Pandicio, who just, man, Ryan, holy smokes! I'm looking at your stats right now. I'm sure this finish feels good for yourself.
Absolutely, finally getting even a finish, really.
Yeah, it's been a rough start to your season. You're out here. You finally get something up for your for the Clowns team. Get some good points on the board. You just what more did you have to do to get the win?
I think honestly I had to make the move on Hamilton a lot sooner. As soon as Connor got to my outside, I had nothing. I don't think I could have gotten around him.
Yeah, that is definitely a one of those things that I'm sure when you go to sleep tonight, you're going to be having a hard time figuring out, could I have done this, or that? But either way, getting P3, that's going to be a lot of points for the board. Going to be something that you and the rest of the team are going to be happy about, and it's going to help you guys move forward and close that gap on, or at least maintain that gap on the first place team there in the Constructors' Championship. Ryan Pandicio finishes 3rd here at Texas, and is there anything else you got for us, Ryan?
I think that's about it. Great race to Hamilton and Brandon and Connor there at the end. That was a lot of fun. And thanks to you guys in the broadcast, as always. Great job every week.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ryan. And finishes out 3rd. Really good, strong finish for Ryan. I'm sure him and his crew are going to be happy about just have a solid finish there, Derek.
Yeah, I would be happy with any kind of solid finish here after all the calamity we saw in the beginning. But congratulations to Hamilton, Akabusa. What an amazing night. And congrats to all these drivers. Well, Josh, I think I'm done. I'm ready to go get some brisket.
Yeah, I think the line for the brisket might be a little bit shorter now. Now that I got that hot dog, I can go have some real food. So appreciate everyone tuning in to the FTF1 series sponsored by ModernRacingPrints.com. Check it out, Modern Racing Prints. They got some awesome stuff. Highly recommend checking them out. And we'll see you guys very soon for the 24 laps, not hours, of Le Mans for the ModernRacingPrints.com FTF1 series.